Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is the demise of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to do a live about this, but it's just so boring that I could not even bring myself to do it. I still will do one. So definitely like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss it. But is this the end? Is Jersey also going to have the fate of, the Real Housewives of New York with the reboot, with, the Real Housewives of Atlanta with almost a reboot, with Vanderpump Rules being put on pause, with Dallas being put on pause? What is the fate of the Real Housewives of New Jersey? And I will also weigh in on what I think is wrong with the franchise and why it is the lowest ratings in the show's history. Okay, we're going to get into it. So, this is according to Reality Blurb. It says the ratings for the Real Housewives of New Jersey took a historical nosedive with the latest episode. Some fans are calling it the Margaret Joseph effect, and others blame the divided cast. Following last year's feud with sister-in-law Melissa Gorga, OG castmate Teresa Giudice largely refused to film with her and Joe Gorga. For a decade, the show has focused on the three family members' drama. Many viewers feel Margaret has created an us versus them dynamic, forcing stars to pick a team, Margaret's or Teresa's. Now, this is the thing. It's not so much it's Margaret versus Teresa. It's more of, I think it's always been Melissa or Teresa. I think Melissa has always felt that she's prettier, she's cooler, she's younger, she should be the star of the show. And I think she's always been very bitter and very jealous that Teresa has always been Andy's favorite, a fan favorite, the anchor, the star of the show. As we know, there was allegedly some shady stuff going on with Melissa even getting on the show, badgering producers to get her on, not telling Teresa she was coming on the show with Joe, because I think, again, it's just my opinion, Melissa has always felt that she is better than Teresa, and she's never really rocked with Teresa. Now, I'm not saying Teresa is an angel or is perfect or is a saint or any of those things, but I think when it comes to Melissa versus Teresa, Melissa was never going to really rock with Teresa like that, where I think Teresa wanted a sisterhood with Melissa, and then she realized she was never going to get that. Cue in Margaret. I personally don't like Margaret, not in a personal way because I don't know her. I mean, like, my personal opinion on Margaret, the persona she plays on the TV show, because some fans don't understand that you can not like a character they play without not liking the person. I don't know her, so I don't mean that personally. I think Margaret is a liar. I think she's a pot stirrer. I think that she is mean and she's very nasty. And when it comes to Margaret versus Jackie, I am team Jackie 1000%. This might be an unpopular opinion or not, I'm not sure, but I really like Jackie. I've always liked Jackie. I think she keeps it real. I think she's really cool. I love Jackie. And I think that Margaret makes everything about herself. I think that Jackie realized that Margaret was the one who started the rumor about her husband allegedly cheating in the gym, which I don't think that's true. I think that's something Margaret made up or started or spread or whatever the case may be. I think that, and she got exposed with that when, remember, Margaret's husband Joe was like, well, I heard the rumor too. But then it turned out he heard the rumor from Margaret and her friends and the girls talking about it at Margaret's house. So it's like, Joe, you didn't hear this rumor on the street. You literally heard it from your wife and her friends in your own house. That was also very telling. And I think Jackie probably realizes that Margaret was the one behind it. Teresa was the one who she shouldn't have. She took the bone and carried it and brought it to the show, but Margaret was the one who planted the bone. So I'm not, again, Teresa's not an angel by any means. The only person I really like on the show is Jackie. The rest, I think, are very kind of fake and phony and phoning it in. I think Margaret is very toxic to the show. She's very bitter. She's very mean. So, and I think Margaret came in, attached herself to Melissa, and then took over as the mean girl in charge. Because Margaret wants to be the star of the show. you know? Okay. In the latest episode, Teresa didn't attend the main event, her brother Joe's birthday party. Much of the episode, however, focused on Margaret and Rachel Feuda's displeasure that Teresa and Jen Fessler recently had a nice talk. According to a report from the reality TV guru, the ratings for episode 3 and the season in general are the lowest in the history of the show so far. I believe it. I tried to give this season a chance. I watched episode 1 and half of 2. I didn't even watch the last episode. Another reason why I think this season is doing so poorly is because there's nothing new there. Nobody cares about Melissa versus Teresa. Nobody. We need something new. This toxic family drama between Teresa Giudice's and the Gorgas, it's played out. We don't care. Also, I think that the majority of these families have gone as far as they can go. Dolores, I like Dolores, but Dolores she sits on the fence. She's cool, but she doesn't really bring anything, in my personal opinion, to the show. You know, she's very, quote, real, but she's not actually being real. I don't think she actually shares her true opinion on anything. And I'm not really sure I'm not really sure where else Dolores can go. To be honest, I'm not sure where else Melissa and Joe can go. I'm not actually sure where Teresa can go. You know, I don't really want to watch Louis, whether or not he is alleged sociopath, narcissist, stealing all her money. I don't really want to watch that. That's not fun to watch, you know. And her children, beautiful, but again, I don't want to just watch a show about these kids. I want to watch a show about wealthy women living extraordinary lives, having fun and doing the damn thing, right? The show in and of itself is boring. I'm not invested. I don't care. And there's really no other place for these stories to go. When it comes to, what's her name? We talked about Dolores. Again, I think Dolores' story has gone as far as it can go. I don't know why she's with this man who is still married after 14 years of being allegedly separated. Dolores, you deserve better. Get in some therapy, work on your self-worth. You're beautiful. You're amazing. Stop dating these guys who are offering you nothing. Melissa Gorga, again, I think she's always been jealous of Teresa. She seems very fake and phony. I'm not invested in anything in her life. And I think her story has gone as far as it can go. Teresa, you know, I think Teresa has grown. She's learned. I still think there's a lot of things that she's being fake and phony about. I think she has a big problem on her hand with Louis. But again, I'm not invested. I don't care. Her children are great, beautiful, but I don't want to watch the Real Housewives Children of New Jersey. I want to watch the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I think their story has gone as far as it can go. Margaret, from jump, I thought she was very mean, conniving, and a liar and a pot stirrer, and she's just not fun to watch. She gives me an ick feeling. I'm Team Jackie all day long. I think Jackie woke up to who Margaret really was, and that's why she's no longer friends with her. Melissa is so confused as to why Jackie isn't hanging out with us anymore. That's because Melissa, no matter what, you will never be able to give Teresa anything. So the fact that Jackie, your friend who came on the show blazing for Teresa, is now friends with her, you can't handle it, you know? So I do like Jackie. Danielle just gives the problem with Danielle is that I'm not invested in her story. She seems like someone who wanted to be famous, and now she's living vicariously through her daughter, and that's kind of icky and cringe, and kind of people pleasing, wanting to be everybody's friend, you know, all of that stuff. Nothing against Danielle. She seems okay, but again, I'm not invested in her story. Like, she's not someone that I'm going to care to spend an hour of my life every week tuning in to see what happens in her family. I hope her family does great and they're amazing, but she's not somebody that I'm personally going to be invested in seeing their story arc, what happens with them. Now, when it comes to Jen Feuda, I think that they are setting up Jen to be the next either Melissa or the next Teresa. seems like they're setting her up to be more of the next Melissa because she's young, she's pretty, she has the family, all of that stuff, and she's going against Teresa. And Teresa is the type of person, she always needs a foil. She always needs somebody to be going against. That's just sort of like the dynamic of what it is. And so I think that they're trying to phase out Melissa Gorga and bring in Jen to replace that sort of, I'm really young, I'm really pretty, I have a great body, I have my husband, I have my kids, we have this extended family, and I'm going to go against Teresa dynamic, where I think nobody wants that. I think this cast of women as it is it's done, and then Jennifer Aydin, what the hell is going on with her? She's all over the place. She needs to really focus on what's going on in her household, take care of her own, what's going on with her, bribing bloggers, leaking things to them, being up Teresa's butt. I don't know what's going on with Jen Aydin. Again, I actually like Jen. I think she's really funny. I think she's really real. But the way she's moving is so grimy that, again, she's not somebody that I can root for. Leaking stuff to bloggers, trying to get people on her side, being Teresa's ride or die no matter what. It's like, no, bring out your own personality. Don't do sneaky stuff. Don't be the new Lisa Rinna. Don't do any of that stuff. Like, just show up as you, because Jen is a vibe. She's funny. She's actually, I would say, other than Jackie, I would be most invested in her story arc if she wasn't moving so grimy off screen and if she wasn't just a yes person to Teresa. I actually think Jen is one of the most dynamic women on the show. But overall, in its totality as an ensemble, I think this entire cast has run its course the way it is right now. And the ratings speak for itself. A historic low. The show is boring. It's toxic. And there's nowhere for these women's stories to go. And we're simply not invested in them. Let's see what else the article says. It says the episode, which aired on Sunday, May 19th, earned 0.699 million viewers with 0.146 million in the 18 to 49 demographic. Comparatively, episode 3 of last season took a whopping 0.87 million. And though the recent premiere earned 0.837 million viewers, the very next episode dropped to 0.74 million. Last year, episode 1 was 0.85, while 2 earned 0.86 per Spoiler TV. On social media, fans shared their theories on the ratings dive. This comes after production decided to move forward with a divided cast, with viewer feedback saying they are watching 2 different shows, wrote all about The Real Housewives on Instagram. Another called it the Margaret Joseph effect. I've been fast forwarding whenever the Gorgas or Margaret are on the screen, echoed a different fan. I can't even stand to watch them lie anymore. It's so much more evident that they're always lying now because they're talking about Teresa, but not to Teresa. Recycled storylines, plotting a coup against the star of the show, it doesn't work. Very toxic, said another. They need ladies only that have fun and connect and participate. Marge brought a lot of negativity on the show. There needs to be more authenticity. I agree 100%. And also the show has now just become, I want to expose you, you're lying, you're this, you're that, rather than them actually being in the moment and enjoying their lives and having fun. It's just become her versus her, lie versus lie, team versus team. It's boring. And I think collectively as a conscious, we don't want that anymore. We want fun. We want connection. We want good vibes. We don't want this recycled, boring, highly produced, and I don't even think by producers produced, I mean produced by the cast, crap. It needs to stop. And I agree. Marge was very detrimental to the show, but so is Melissa Gorga. And quiet as kept Teresa too. I think less, but also. Bravo knows the season is a dud. That's why they only got 13 episodes and a glimpse here and there of the newbies. I suspect this cast is done after this season, speculated a different user. One viewer said the ratings nosedive because Teresa didn't attend the main event. I don't think that's why, because we didn't know Teresa wasn't going to attend the main event for episode 3. I think it nosedived because overall, this does not work. The show itself does not work. The ensemble does not work. We are not invested in these women at all. And I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think that this is the end of the Real Housewives of New Jersey as we know it currently? I personally hope it is. It's not working. It's boring and toxic. And we don't need any of that. Are you guys watching? Let me know what you guys think. And what do you think about Jen, allegedly, bribing and leaking stuff to the bloggers? To me, it's kind of corny at this point, but I will do another video explaining a little bit more of my perspective on it. But I want to know what you guys think. So sound off in the comments. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.